Hallo und herzlich willkommen beim Gartenkanal. Hello and welcome to the gardening channel. Today the first English video. I think I will make some subtitles for my German followers or for most of my followers. So right now I'm here with Devin. Hi Devin. Hi, and Michael. Hi. Maybe you want to tell the followers where are we right now here?
We're on the beautiful island of Maui up in Olinda, which is upcountry at about 3,200 feet elevation, about 1,600 meters. And as you can see, we're on a beautiful piece of land with the gorgeous sun shining and on our farm, Lapa'au farm.
Lapa'au farm.
Lapa'au farm, yes.
Okay, Hawaiian is a little bit difficult for me. So yeah, I had a little look onto the farm or over the farm. It looks awesome. So you started it last year in September, is that right?
Yes, 2017, September 2017, yes.
And what are your principles? What are you making here? Or yeah, what is the purpose of this little farm?
You want to go first?
Sure. The purpose that Devin and I really came together to cultivate is the soil and focusing on nurturing and feeding the soil. And as a byproduct of doing that, we get plants that are healthy. And so our focus is really to create some sort of agroforestry production here where we have multiple tiered layers of food. And that way we have this type of balance and diversity going on the farm.
All right.
So, and the focus of the soil is to create nutrient-rich foods because by establishing the microbial network in the soil, just like with our guts, we're helping the plants to be healthy, to have access to the nutrients, to then get it into the food, to then get it into the people who eat it. Because Lapa'au means to heal, to cure, or medicine in Hawaiian. And we want to remind people that food is medicine and medicine is food. So that way we're growing medicinal, nutrient-rich foods to help feed the people and help our community thrive.
So my followers, they know some stuff. I talk sometimes about permaculture. So this is basically a permaculture project. Could you say that?
Yeah, we definitely, permaculture principles are embedded in what we're doing and deeply rooted in our farm.
And Korean natural farming principles as well. It's creating different IMO mixtures with indigenous microorganisms and compost teas to nurture our soil.
Effektive Mikroorganismen. Yeah.
Yes,
we
effective
got
microorganisms. Yeah, you got
Grüße
that.
an den Garten-Gemüsekiosk. Not a YouTube channel. I just greeted them because they do basically that a lot.
Awesome.
So how did you start up? You just had the soil here. Like I think I see lots of grass.
Clover.
This one.
Bermuda grass. And so we are a no-till farm, but we started and we tilled up the land to help get it ready. If we had animals or something like that, we would have done that. But we had a friend who had a tractor and he came in and helped till it up, and we got soil tests. We did multiple soil tests throughout the property, and from the results, we added in certain nutrients like dolomite lime to help raise the pH of the soil a little bit, and a couple other nutrients, and just turn that into the soil. And then part of the permaculture, Korean natural farming, just the whole regenerative farming aspect, we planted a cover crop with everything. So we planted squash and sweet potatoes with all the cover crop, thinking that we'll get some returns from the squash and the sweet potatoes, as well as helping to prepare the soil for the trees that we'll eventually have planted here.
All right. So yeah, you talked about the trees. What kind of trees do you want to plant up here? You said plums the other day to me. What else? And is it really growing up here? Because my followers always ask me, can you plant apples on Hawaii? There's no winter. And so how will the tree know if it has to start to blossom or goes to rest? So yeah, you basically, it's winter right now, but when you look,
this is a Hawaiian winter.
It's a Hawaiian winter, yeah. So what kind of trees are you planting, and will it work, or where you have the information from that you can plant those trees?
So we're going to be growing peaches, plums, nectarines, pluots, and plueri.
Plueri?
Plueri, which is...
It's a new hybrid species that has been cultivated with a mixture of plums, cherries, nectarines, and apricots, I believe.
Yeah, and peach, I think.
Peach,
yeah. There's five, at least five.
Like little red, like this ones? Do they look like this?
I've never seen them. We're told the leaves are purple.
Oh, okay.
So along this top row where you see, we're going to be planting them along here to kind of help create a really nice, beautiful walkway for future visions of potentially having weddings here and farm-to-table dinners on this land. So this would be one of the locations that we would do that. So
And the trees will grow up here. There's a variety of peaches and other stone fruit trees that grow up. There's actually a variety of apples too that grow 1,000 feet below us. I know that there's not technically a winter here in Hawaii, but in the higher climates where we're at in 3,200 feet, the temperatures will still get sometimes down to 40 degrees. So we still get that chill enough for the trees to go into that mode of flowering.
Winter depression.
Exactly. Exactly. And we also are getting our rootstocks and mainly all the grafts from Big Island, which a man has been cultivating these rootstocks and these varieties that are adapted to this subtropical climate.
Okay, yeah, that's the point where I always want to move on, stick on, deal with. So I get plants or seeds that come from my region that I use to the climate and adapted it.
And I think one of the biggest things that Michael said is the rootstock has been tested and developed over there for at least the last 15 years. So the rootstock is not coming from a place that's expecting 700 to 800 chill hours. It's here, it's been raised here, it's been growing here, so it's expecting this type of climate. And he's got his nursery at about 2,500 feet, I think?
21 actually.
2,100 feet. So it's not down low, it's a little higher up. Granted, we're still about 1,000 plus feet above it, but having that resource over there is really critical and crucial and supportive. And just right up there on the other side of that big tree is there's a couple of big old peach trees. So they grow up here.
They do? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
And I think one of the biggest things is with our focus of the soil, by giving to the trees, we trust that they will give back too. So a lot of the times people plant these trees, they plant them in a grass-based system which has a bacterial dominance instead of a fungal dominance, and we're doing a transition into a fungal dominant network. We're going to be putting a bunch of mulch over these. By planting the cover crops, we're starting to get a balance of different microorganisms and all that. So we'll be transitioning a lot of the grass out so that way it's not that bacterially dominated soil. So we're doing the best to give to those trees so they can have the best opportunity to thrive.
It's awesome. I just read a book the other day. It's called The Secret Life of the Trees of the Forest. You know that one? How the trees communicate with all the fungi.
Fungal network.
Yeah, with the fungal network.
The mycelium.
This is really nuts, insane. Yeah, that's basically what I want to do at my place too. Go more into that how do you say? Sorry for my bad English. That direction, yeah.
Yes.
That direction. Okay, talking about directions. You make this gardening project up here in Olinda, and I see all the grass fields over there. Sometimes cattle are on them. Okay, we have the goats down there. What is your motivation? Just to enrich the soil, or you want to make some money out of it too? What is your
Both. We want to, well, I think more than just that. We want to grow food. We want to grow the soil because in addition to growing nutritious food, if you have healthy soil, it's taking carbon out of the atmosphere and storing it in the soil, so we can help remediate climate change by storing, because so much carbon is being released. It's the second biggest storage place for carbon in the world is the soil. So we can help be a contributor to changing and being in times with the change, as well as provide food for ourselves and our family, and also to...
It's all about the kids. That's what I was asking. Yeah, gotta show that.
And this is where I went to high school, right down the road. And so Seabury Hall, that's a place where I learned about a lot of these different aspects, and that's where I got on this kick of wanting to be involved with environmental related options. And then, yeah, a big focus of ours is by providing good food for the community, we can also receive some exchange and be supported in our lives as well. Another aspect, if you want to talk about, is we want to grow mushrooms. So that is a potential market, not potential, a very viable market for us to create and utilize resources to then channel it into food, which can then be turned into monetary returns for us.
Are we having a look on the containers to the mushrooms?
We don't. They're not growing yet.
They're not growing yet.
They're not growing yet. Yeah, we're still awaiting county permits.
Yeah, for regulations and building permits. For myself, the motivation to do what we're doing here comes from a place of thinking and believing that doing this is what's going to change the world. Working in a variety of areas through my life and understanding that the biggest part that I can play in this world is to be a farmer. And to grow our own food and to grow food for people, and to grow food for people that in my hopes will heal them as well on a subtle level, and planting those seeds inside of people that will slowly grow to help all of us become better people, and also to nurture our kids and to create this soil to be healthy for our next generations. And it's also the place that I find the most peace in my life.
That's really, really nicely said. I feel that. I really feel that. That's so cool. Yeah, I think as a farmer you have big opportunity to really change something. When I see many people in Germany, or all over the world, not basically only in Germany, they lost the connection to the food. I mean, it's pretty much a stereotype or cliche, the kids who don't know what color the cow has. So we have this chocolate company, it's called Milka, and they have this purple cow always in the advertisement. So kids basically in Germany, in the cities, started to think that cows are purple because they only saw cows on the TV advertisement.
Wow.
So this is really a big thing that also depressed me a lot, that people lost this close connection to nature, like on Hawaiian the Aina, where we basically all come from. And I think this is really nice said by you, what you want to do with that. I think also interesting thing would be for the people out there to know what crops are you basically growing right now in January, the beginning of January here on Maui. So in Germany I have in my garden I think one red kale, some kind of German salad, we call it Feldsalat. It lives over winter and grows over winter, we talked about it before. And that's pretty much it. Maybe some chives I can find, or rosemary, of course, some herbs, but when I look here and compare it to my garden, it's paradise here. So what kind of crops are you growing right now?
We have 2 acres of 4 varieties of kabocha pumpkin squash, and about 4 or 5 varieties of sweet potatoes as well. We have a couple fields down there of kalo or taro, which is the traditional Hawaiian root crop or tuber crop.
The older or the young brother? How is it called? Taro? Kalo?
Yeah.
Kalo.
Is it called the young brother
The
or
young
the old
brother,
brother?
yeah.
The young brother.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Nice.
I believe the young brother, yeah.
Cool. Oh, yeah. And then just a few veggie gardens of carrots and beets and beans, a variety of kales and lettuces, cilantro, broccoli, things like that.
Cabbage, parsnips, you said beans,
Yep.
mustard green.
And then we're going to be focusing on also a variety of purple and red heirloom baby potatoes that will be growing up here, a variety of alliums and short day onion crops.
Yeah, so garlic and onions.
Blackberry vines and grapevines as well. So we're going to really be testing out the first time on Maui these particular varieties that no one has cultivated. Not any commercial blackberry, any commercial stone fruit, any commercial grapevines on this entire island.
Well, there's commercial grapevines, but they're for wine.
Yeah.
So not for table and food consumption.
You're also thinking about olive trees? I saw them down there.
The olive trees are on the other side of this farm, and that's my mom and my stepdad, and so they're growing olives and making olive oil. Yeah, they have their own press and they're making olive oil. This is the 3rd year of production, I believe. They're about 5 years old. I believe. Yeah, they're 5 years old, and they got 70 gallons of oil this year.
70 gallons? Oh yeah, it's 280 liters, something like that. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, and they were expected to start producing this year.
Yeah.
They weren't. They fruited 2 years earlier than they even expected the first fruit to happen. And they're doing, from what we know, these are the healthiest ones on island, and we both have been encouraging them. They've recently switched to completely organic, and they've been giving amendments like biochar to the trees, and we've been helping them to remember that if you give to the trees are just so abundant and give back.
Yeah,
so
they give back.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so we got olive, squash. I also saw the yellow beet. I think the variety's name is Burpee's Golden. Could be the same.
Could be the same, yeah. We've got golden, chiyoga, and red beets.
Yeah.
4 different varieties of beets.
Tonda chiyoga. We also all know that variety in Europe. Pretty easy. Not easy, pretty fun to grow. How you eat it? I eat it thin sliced with olive oil. She did it with the Maui olive oil and some maybe some volcano salt on that. That would be awesome.
Do you cook it or raw?
Raw.
Raw.
I eat those those beets, the Tonna di Jogga, they're
When
for
they're
me
thin sliced.
Yeah, thin sliced. They're the one with a really strong flavor, but not that earthy, soily-like flavor you have with the really red one.
Yeah.
So I like to eat this raw, or just
Nice.
put them into the blender with some kale and apple juice. That's
Nice.
what I like about it.
Do you use the mandolin where you can get the thin slices to see through it? It's transparent.
Oh, I know, I haven't bought it yet. I'm still
out
taking
this.
a really sharp knife,
Yeah.
but I think I worked it out to do it good with a sharp knife.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a new one.
Awesome. We actually also have yokon down on our berm. If you've heard of yokon before.
Yeah.
Or ground apple.
Yeah, yacon. I had it 1 year in my garden, and also another garden YouTubing lady. She had it in the garden, or she's famous for them.
Yeah.
And they had like this big ones, and they sent me one over. So I tasted it, and I thought it's tasting like sweet potato or some kind of fruit. And then I had it, and man, this just tastes like an apple watermelon thing.
Yeah,
and it
so
was-
crisp
yeah,
and watery.
so the crisp and watery, and this can't be a normal root, or it's even a flower. It's a dahlia, we call it in German.
Yeah.
And I was so my mind was blown out, so I had to plant it by myself. But I haven't figured out yet how to plant it good that I get the really big ones.
Big
You know,
roots.
you use a lot of compost for them for the yacon.
We use a good amount, but we planted them on the berm, so we have 4 feet of soil for them to dive into. So we'll see when we harvest how large our tubers will be.
Okay. So you haven't harvested them yet.
We have probably
Alright.
2 more months before we're gonna harvest them.
Okay. So last thing, when we make an interview, maybe you want to say something to some German viewers out there. We had a message what your motivation is, or what mine also is. So maybe you want to spread your message. You can feel free to say anything to the German gardening followers. Maybe think about it and then say something.
You want to go first?
You got it.
You got it? One thing that I say all the time is that we're in this together, and by coming together as a community, collaborating and co-creating together, we are the solution. Not one single person, not one single practice or answer, but together we will be the way into the future. And by uniting all of our resources and our energy, we have the capacity to be the change that we want to see in the world. And one of those is through growing food. So whether you grow a small amount of food or have the capacity to do this, anything that we can do is an action towards making those changes.
Yeah, it's totally with me. I say just do it, no matter what scale you're on. When you plant food yourself, you do something. At least you do only when it's also when it's only a little tiny bit, you do something. Like on the balcony with a chili plant.
Exactly.
When you get your own chilies, somebody they're not growing somewhere else, like in the south of Spain, and don't use groundwater. You change something, you do something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And also when they do that, they're taking steps back to getting connected with nature.
Yeah.
And remembering that we're a part of our Mother Earth, where we come from, and are so supported by, and is so abundant. So if we can remember and trust that we're fully supported, it's going to be continually reflected in our lives.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael, what about you? Also something to say?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I tell students too that I teach in middle school is just go home and plant a seed or plant a garden, because when we learn how to take care of something outside of ourselves, we learn that there's much more than just ourselves in this world, and understanding that this little baby plant can grow so big and produce so much, we understand that we can do the same thing for ourselves. And to teach children that each one of them is so important, and their ability to take care of something so small and to nurture it to be big and healthy is going to reflect in every aspect of their life, and especially their relationships as a human being. And I feel like that's where in our world the most healing needs to happen, is our human interactions with each other.
Cool. I have nothing to add. Well, alright guys, thank you for the interview.
Yeah, brother.
Thank you for having us. And yeah, I wish you the best luck for your farm project over here. And how am I making the, how do you say, was heißt Verabschiedung auf Englisch?
Goodbye.
I'll make the goodbye on my channel in English, I don't know. Normally I
Aloha.
say have much success with your projects, thank you for watching, goodbye and ciao, but I think we just say aloha.
Yeah, aloha.
So,
Aloha
Aloha means it all.
Okay, mahalo for watching and aloha.
Aloha.
Good, cool man. Thank you. That was awesome.
Very nice interview.
Willst du das einmal noch mit runternehmen? Das wäre sehr lieb.
Den großen?
Ja.
Where does this one go?
You just put it right next
Oh yeah. I was just picking those up. Thanks, brother.
That's the yukon.
They can grow up to 3 meters,
Yeah.
right, at your place?
Yep. So just starting to take off.
You think only 2 more months till those are ready?
Yeah.
Really? I think it'll be more than that, yeah. When do we plant them? November? Or October?
Oh, there you have one of the ground cherries, Cape gooseberry.
Yeah, it just got so wildly.
So it's basically up from up there, yeah?
Yeah, a bird.
Oh yeah, it looks way healthier than the plants up there.